A day after the U.S. waived sanctions to allow the transfer of $6 billion in frozen Iranian funds and a possible step for the release of 5 American citizens detained in Iran, there are conflicting statements coming from the U.S. and Iran on how the Middle Eastern country can use the unfrozen assets. The U.S. says the money can only go toward humanitarian purposes, but Iran's president says they'll use the money however they see fit. In an NBC exclusive interview, Iran's president told anchor Lester Holt the money belongs to the Iranian government and the Iranian people, so it's their money to spend freely. When Holt asked whether the money would go toward humanitarian needs, the president responded, quote, "Humanitarian means whatever the Iranian people needs. So this money will be budgeted for those needs, and the needs of the Iranian people will be decided and determined by the Iranian government." The U.S. and Iran are at odds on many fronts. Iran is helping Russia in the war in Ukraine. Iran's nuclear programs are widely seen as secretive and advancing. The two differ significantly on social issues. In August, after months of back and forth, the two reached an initial agreement on a prisoner swap: 5 detained Americans for 5 detained Iranians, and removing sanctions on the $6 billion. The deal, touted by the Biden administration for bringing home wrongfully detained Americans, but criticized by others for the additional $6 billion involved in the deal. Republican Senator Chuck Grassley posted on X, quote, "It's ridiculous for U.S. to be blackmailed into paying $6 billion for hostages, which will help indirectly finance the #1 foreign policy of Iran, terrorism." Republican Senator Ted Cruz similarly criticized the deal. Today's news confirms there has already been a side deal, including a $6 billion ransom and the release of Iranian operatives. The $6 billion has been tied up in South Korean banks, and the Biden administration told Congress Monday they issued a waiver to transfer the money to Qatar, who has been mediating the deal. Iran can then access the unfrozen funds from Qatar, and as Iran's president suggested today, will do what they will, despite direction from the U.S.